Hi and welcome to my video. Today's video is gonna be another update for my Pandit palette of 2024. This year I am panning the ColourPop's Going Coconuts palette. Let's open it up and see what is going on inside. So here is what this palette is looking like right now. I should have pictures of what this palette looked like in the last update and also in the introduction, so I'm gonna pop those up here. So let's go through the numbers of how many times I used each shade in the past month. So the first shade up here is called Shredded, but is actually a Franken shade between Coolada and Shelia. So this one I used since the last update 5 times, altogether in this project 12 times. I hit pan on this shade before the last update, and for this update I set a goal to use it 5 times to expand the pan. So as you can see, the pan has expanded quite a lot actually, and I hit my goal. It is a quite recent Franken, that is why it only has 12 uses in total. But I am definitely gonna get more use out of this shade in October, November and December now, because it is a quite cool toned shade, and these upcoming months are the time that I like cool toned eyeshadow. The next shade here is called Palm Reader. This is the shade that I mainly use only in my inner corner. I have only used it 4 times since the last updates, altogether in this project 110 times. The pan maybe has gotten like a teeny tiny bit bigger, but I don't think it is anything like remarkable. And the last shade in the top row is called Coolada. This shade I used 4 times as well, in total in this project 51 times. So this is another cool tone shade that I'm gonna be focusing on in the upcoming months. Next up we have a shade called Lovely Bunch. It has a nice pan in it already for a few months now. This one I only used once, in total in this project 67 times. I only use this like a couple times per month because it already has a pan on it, and I know I'm not gonna use this shade up in 2024 anyways. So let's move on to the new Franken shade in the middle here in the Cocoa Crush pan. As I said in the last update, I would make a Franken in the middle that consists of the shade up here called Palm Reader, the one down here called the Cocoa, and Shelia as well. It goes so well with Shelia and also Shredded as well. I'm so happy with how this shade turned out. I can actually swatch it for you. Here is what it looks like. It is golden, but it is a bit pinker than the last Franken shade in that middle pan was. So I am very happy with it. I feel like it is more suitable, like this new Franken is more suitable for those upcoming cooler months as well, compared to the previous Franken that I had. And it already has pan on it as well. I know that the whole like shade is very low because I didn't make too much of it, but it already has pan, so I'm gonna count that as the 5th pan in this palette. I used this new Franken shade 7 times, and since I just made it, the 7 times is total uses on it as well. Next up, we have Shelia that I already talked about briefly. This one I used 14 times. In total in this project it has 61 uses on it. I'm quite sad that I didn't manage to hit pan on it. You can see that the dip is quite deep, but I don't know what to do now. I really hoped I would have pan on it by now so that I could start focusing on cooler shades, but I think I'm gonna like keep using it a little bit every now and then just to make sure that I get the pan on it by the end of the year. For Shelia, in the past update, I set a goal to use it 10 times, and I did it, so the goal is basically hit, but I'm just a bit disappointed that I didn't manage to hit pan on it. Next, in the 3rd row, we have a shade called Get Kraken. This one I used 5 times. It is a dark brown matte with glitters in it. The glitters don't really show up on your eye, they kind of just blend away. I use this mainly as like a deepening shade for my outer corner, and I am starting to like it again. This shade I used 5 times since the past update. Altogether in this project it has 33 uses on it. The next shade, I set a goal in the last update to use this one 5 times to expand the pan as well, and I used it 7 times. Altogether in this project 44 times. The pan, I don't know if it has expanded that much, maybe just like very little, but I hit my goal on it and we can move on from this shade. And the last shade is called Nutty. This shade I used 3 times, altogether 41 times. So goals for the next update. Actually, let's talk goals for the end of the year. I think I want to, obviously, have pan on everything. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4 shades that don't have pan on it yet. I want to hit pan on those before the end of this project. I think I'm gonna do like the finale for it on around the 1st of January. So I want to have pan on every shade, and I also think that I want to use up both of the Frankens, so the one in the middle and the one up here as well I want to use up, and maybe a stretch, but I would like to use up all of Coolada as well. But we'll see if that happens. If it doesn't happen, then no big deal. But I do really want to use up both of the Frankens because these pans are technically supposed to be empty, at least of the original shade. Okay, so for next update, I don't think I'll be able to like hit any new pans. The closest ones are Coolada, and also Shelia seems to be very close. So maybe I can try to hit pan on Shelia. I'm just gonna say that I want to have a new pan, and it doesn't matter where I have it. I think that's the best I can do right now, because I think that I'm gonna keep using Shelia, and if I feel like the pan is not gonna happen, then I can shift my focus onto Coolada because it is very thin in the pan, and I can just kind of go as I feel, So that is it for today's update. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing as well. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.